Hi guys,
Hi guys.
welcome back to our channel. We filmed it on the same day. So this will be my finding out that I have cancer story. So at the moment I'm 32 years old. So we got married in 2017. I can never remember how old I was when we got married. 28?
Yeah, 28.
Wow. So I was 28 years old.
Guess how old I am, by the way.
Yes, guess. We're not going to tell you in this video. Guess below.
Yeah.
So I was 28, and I naturally, when you get married, we discussed that we didn't want to have children straight away. So I did try different types of contraceptives. We decided to on the implant, because it meant that I wouldn't have to remember to take a pill, but also at the time we were living in Seychelles and I didn't really trust the hormonal tablets that I would get in Seychelles, just the brand and everything. I just felt more comfortable getting the implant. So when I came to visit my family in London, I got the implant done. Now, I had various symptoms with the implant, which we could speak about another time. But after about 9 months, I decided to have it removed. I think it was around that time that I noticed a small lump on the top of my left breast, and it was quite high up, so like not deep in the breast tissue, but quite high up. So it was easy to feel under the skin. It felt like maybe like a pea size. I still remember I was lying down in bed and I just felt something, and I remember just that panic, like as a woman feeling a lump, that it's not normal.
You told me to feel it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and I felt it.
So straight away I did show it to my husband. Yeah. He felt it, and really he could feel it as well. And I remember texting my mum and telling my mum that I had felt a lump. And then when I went to work the next day, I remember telling my colleague that I had felt a lump. The interesting thing is that my colleague also had a lump that she had checked out, and it was normal. It was just a cyst, and she was having a mammogram done every year to keep an eye on it. So naturally I assumed the same, because I've actually got a few friends who'd found cysts, lumps, and it turned out to be normal. So I didn't do anything about it. I didn't go to the doctor, I didn't mention it, but it was still at the back of my mind, and I used to mention it in conversation. And even when I came to London to see my family, I did plan of going to the GP and getting it checked out, but I just didn't follow through. And it kind of became like this, like a running joke. Like my family knew, like a few of my friends knew, and everyone had like felt it as well. And just to mention that it was growing, it kept growing. So fast forward about 2 years later, it started to be painful. This whole time I didn't feel any pain, like it was painful. And I was just really struggling around that time, just to do normal everyday things. I'd get really tired. I was literally just going to work, going home and sleeping. So like that put a lot of stress on Channing, and he was worried. And then just one day I just said, I have to go to the doctor. Like, it's weird that it's hurting all of a sudden.
Getting bigger as well.
It's getting bigger. So I went to the doctor and yeah, she prescribed ibuprofen. She said it was inflamed, take ibuprofen, but she will also refer me to get an ultrasound done. So I had to wait 2 months for the ultrasound, and in the meantime I did take the ibuprofen, and after a few days it did, the pain stopped. So on the day of the ultrasound, you can hear the ducks getting excited.
We have a serious conversation here.
So on the day of the ultrasound, my husband did come with me, and we waited for hours. People were leaving.
Yeah, a long time.
I think my appointment was at 10, and I think we were seen around 1 o'clock. I did want to leave, but I thought you'll either do it today or you won't do it at all. So for the ultrasound, I went in. The person doing the ultrasound didn't even say one word to me. They had an assistant who just said, take your bra off, lie down on the bed. So I did that, and the ultrasound lady came and like did the ultrasound. She didn't say anything, but I was watching her face, and I could see that like as soon as she went over the lump, she was like, and I thought, well, that's not good. And then she only looked at the lump for seconds, and then straight away she went under my armpits, which I later learned was she was checking my lymph nodes to see if anything had spread. But she still didn't say anything to me. So then she gave me some blue tissue paper, and that was it. So I got dressed, and the assistant told me to wait outside. So I went outside, and we waited like another hour.
Yeah.
And then someone called my name, and then I went and they just gave me this piece of paper that was stapled. She didn't even say, take it back to your doctor, nothing. So we walked out and I opened it. So I opened it and I saw the results on there. And they thought it was she suggested it could be a fibroadenoma, but to do a biopsy, and then that they could see calcifications as well. As soon as I saw that they needed to do a biopsy, I knew it wasn't normal, because I had friends who also had lumps and they were just being monitored. There was no need for them to have a biopsy. So at this point, I'm just like freaking out.
Yeah.
And
Going on YouTube, doing research.
Yeah.
About it, and yeah.
So then in the end, we told the people at work what had happened. And they suggested that we go to a private clinic. So that was on a Wednesday. On the Thursday, we spent all day trying to find a private clinic. Oh no. On the Thursday, I went back to the clinic with my results.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Yeah, we went back, and yeah. So they arranged for me to have a biopsy, but it would be another 6 weeks. So that's when we told them, and they suggested we go to a private clinic. We had a friend who worked at the hospital, so we went to see him, and we had the ultrasound imaging. And anyway, he also suggested that we try and get a biopsy done quicker. So we went to 2 or 3 different private clinics, and no one was doing a biopsy. In the end, we found a hospital, a private clinic, who were able to do the biopsy, and the receptionist tried to book me in for the Tuesday. That was on Friday. So I said to her, don't I need to have an initial consultation first? Then a very nice nurse came forward, and she said, what's wrong, what's happened? So I just explained to her, and she was very kind, very sympathetic. And you could see how distressing it was to us as a young couple. We just didn't know what to do. So she booked me in that afternoon with a doctor. She just said, he's on lunch, come back in a couple of hours. So we just hung around and went. And then we saw the doctor. On this exact same day, I had an ultrasound. I didn't have to wait 2 months. I had it right then and there. And then he agreed that I needed to have a biopsy, but he suggested doing a lumpectomy, removing the lump completely, which we agreed to do, and he scheduled it for the Monday. So the Saturday I went in, I had my pre-op assessment. Monday I was booked in, I had my lumpectomy, and I will speak about my lumpectomy separately, but yes, had the operation. And then about 10 days later, I was at home, I was still on sick leave, recovering, and I got a phone call from the clinic, and the nurse said, how soon can you come to the surgery, please? And just the way she phrased it, I just knew something was wrong. But then I just thought, no, that's just how she is. That's just how they operate. So I said to her I'd come in the afternoon. She said fine. But then a few minutes later, she said to me, "Can you come right now?" Then I did feel a bit like, so I rang Shanik straight away and got dressed, and we went to the hospital, to the clinic. So, you want to say that part? How it was when we got there?
When we got there was not many people around. So we get in the clinic, and then we saw the nurse, the secretary, and then soon after that, she said that we can see the doctor now. And I don't think we were scared, or we just didn't know what to expect. So we were in the room. It was just us and the doctor,
And the nurse.
And the nurse, yes, the nurse was there as well with us. And that's when the doctor told us what it was.
So at first the doctor apologized for having done a lumpectomy. It should have been a biopsy instead of a lumpectomy. But I think, anyway, that's different. We didn't mind. And then, so he said it's malignant. And I'd have to go to the public hospital, to the government hospital, because they don't have the means to follow up after a diagnosis like that. So he'd made arrangements for me to go, and he already knew which doctors I needed to go and see. So yes, but I think you didn't quite understand him when he said it's
Yes.
malignant, and Shanik was like, "It's what? It's what now? It's what?"
Yeah, what is malignant? And yeah, it was a shock. Honestly, it was a shock.
Yeah.
For being so young and not expecting it. It was very, very, very big shock.
There's a couple of geese staring at me.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that really changed our lives. The next few hours that followed really changed our lives.
Yeah. So when the doctor told me, it was just like a shock, and I was trying to process it, and I just wanted to leave the room. I just wanted to walk out, and I just wanted to just. But he kept talking, like, which is normal. Oh, you can see one of them behind. Look. And yes, so yeah, so he's talking so much, and by the time like I stand up, I just burst out crying. And you were crying, and our very good friend who'd taken us to the clinic, he was crying. He cried as well. And it was just a couple of days of crying. So yes, yeah, that's basically my finding out that I have cancer. And then in the next episode we will talk about what happened next. So again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put it down below, and we'll try to answer it in the next video. Please subscribe to our channel, and please share it with others. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.